Hello BookTube, Sarah here and welcome to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with my Thriller-a-thon Round 4 TBR. I am super excited about this, you guys. So the Thriller-a-thon, I have to make sure I say it slowly so I say it correctly, is hosted by the lovely Harriet Rosie. I will leave link in the description box below to her announcement video, along with links to both the other co-hosts that she has. So there are 3 co-hosts for this readathon. It takes place from August 19th, which is this coming Monday, to August 26th, which is the following Monday. So it's actually 8 days, as opposed to a typical like 7-day long readathon. So essentially what this is read thrillers. That's the readathon, and I am super stoked. There are prompts and stuff, which I will get into in just a second, but I am super excited about this. Now, I saw Harriet Rosie's original announcement video, and I kind of was bummed, and I'm like, I kind of would like to read some thrillers. It's, you know, you guys know if you watch my channel, if you're new and you just found me because of the Thrillerathon, I 99% of the time, okay, I shouldn't say that. I 85% of the time read contemporaries. If you can't tell by all those bright colored covers or spines, book spines behind me, I am a contemporary romance reader and a historical romance reader. I typically don't necessarily read thrillers. I do like some cozy mysteries. I do enjoy some regular mysteries. You know, and I have read a handful of thrillers, but they're generally not my go-to, let's put it that way. But, you know, I saw this and I kind of thought about it, and I'm like, no, unfortunately, the way my TBRs are structured, I just can't participate in something like that. So I kind of pushed it to the side. And then a day or so ago, I think it was, or it might have even been today, I can't remember, sorry, it's been a long weekend already. The lovely Lindsay over at The Wandering Reader posted her readathon for this TBR, or for this, she posted her TBR for this readathon. Oh, it's gonna be a fun video, you guys. I assure you, I'm not drinking an alcoholic or an adult beverage. I am just drinking tea, I swear. And she posted hers, and I was like, I really want to do it too. And then I remembered that on Friday, in my Friday reads, I did an entire discussion before my Friday reads, talking about the fact that I was removing a lot of things from my TBR, ongoing, like starting in September. I was no longer going to be participating in the Stacking the Series challenge and things like that. So the whole reason I was doing this was to, A, give myself a break from reading the same series over and over and over again, and B, to allow myself room to participate in things like this. And I think it all just kind of melded well together. You know, I saw Lindsay's video and I remembered Harriet's video, and I'm like, yes, I want to participate in Thrillerathon. So here I am, kids, participating in Thrillerathon. Yay, I am so excited. So I will pop up the bingo card, because there is a bingo card, which is super fun. I love it, and I love the fact that there's only 9 squares. I'm debating actually now seeing this, because I've seen a bunch of other people do this too for readathons, like having a much smaller bingo board, to actually do this for the holiday book bingo this coming December, to not make it so scary for some people with all the books that you could potentially choose from. You know, 9 is a much more manageable number than 25. So anyway, as Harriet says in her video, and like I said, I will leave a link to it down below. I'm sure there's things I'm going to forget. It is her readathon. Please go watch her video and she will give you all the details. But the whole point is to get a line, either horizontal, vertical, diagonal. It doesn't matter. If you want, fill all 9 squares, but the goal is just to get a line. So I like to overshoot the moon, and I am actually going for all 9. Now, I am going to be a rebel in this. As I said, it runs from the 19th to the 26th. Because I have 9 books on this, and I am so super stoked for some reason all of a sudden about reading thrillers. I just want to read all of them, and I'm really excited about reading all of these, and I don't want to get to like next Monday and be like, oh, I didn't finish this and this and this book, so I'll just put them to the side for now. I want to finish them and I want to read them. So I personally am running this from the 19th to the 31st. Because like I said, I'm a little bit of a rebel. So yeah, I'm only counting what I read until the 26th, but if I don't finish these books in time, I will be reading them till the end of the month. So for those of you who follow my channel and who watch all the time, be prepared to hear a lot about thrillers over the next few weeks when I do my weekly wrap-ups and my Friday reads and stuff like that. So I like kind of reading outside of my norm every now and then to branch out, to try new things, and I'm super excited. Maybe I'll find some new authors that I really, really like. So, like I've had the bingo card up here the whole time. So, like I said, 9 prompts. I picked 1 book for each prompt. So let's jump in and talk about the books that I picked. Now, to say before I even start, I do not know a lot about all of these books. And I think that's kind of the point with thrillers, is that you really shouldn't know too much going into them. And, I think a lot of the enjoyment of reading thrillers is being surprised and having those twists and turns and things like that. So, anyway, like I said, I'm not going to tell you a lot about these books because I don't know a lot about these books. But they all look super interesting to me, and I'm really excited about them. So, the first prompt is oldest thriller on your TBR. So I went on my TBR, and I do have a couple thrillers on my TBR on Goodreads on my want to read list. And this is the oldest one, back when I first started adding all my books to Goodreads. And this one, I think I started this one, but I never ended up finishing it for whatever reason. I can't remember why. Maybe I picked up another book. I don't think it's because I wasn't enjoying it, but maybe I just wasn't into it at the time. And that was The Blue by Lucy Clark. This, from what I remember, it's about a group of friends who are on a boat, like just sailing all over the place, and stuff happens. That's really all I know. Sounds good. I think I enjoyed it at the beginning. I don't even remember if I finished this one. I might have even finished this one. But when I was redoing stuff on Goodreads a couple of years ago, I may have marked it to read again. Maybe because I don't remember it that well, or maybe I skimmed through most of it. I don't remember. But I am going to read it in full this time. The next one is an author you've read before. So I have a physical copy of this one. And this is a spoiler alert for my my vlog coming up on Tuesday, because I did a little bit of book shopping this weekend, and this is one of the books that I bought, not knowing that I was going to participate in this beforehand. I picked this one up, and then when I got home, I realized when I decided to do this that this book would absolutely fit. And that book is called Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. I read her earlier this year. I actually had an ARC of her newest book from NetGalley back in January, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I'm super looking forward to reading this one. I saw it on the shelf at the thrift store, and I'm like, I know that author. I like that author's book, so I want to try this one. This is a fairly recent release. It came out, I think, in April of 2018. So yeah, very much looking forward to this one. The next one is a thriller with a trope that you love. Now, again, I don't read a lot of thrillers, so I don't necessarily know what tropes I love or not. I don't read enough of them to say, yes, this is it. But I do know that when I'm reading even mysteries or romantic suspense novels, I tend to really like stuff, and this might sound bad, that deals with missing children. I don't know why. I just find that a fascinating, trope. So the book that I will be reading for this one is The Missing by C.L. Taylor. And I saw this one, I was looking up this author for something else for the next category, which I'll talk about in just a second. And I saw this book, and I read about what it was about, and I'm like, ooh, that sounds good. All I read was that a 15-year-old boy goes missing, and that's it. And I'm like, yes, please, I want to read it. The next one is a host's favorite thriller. So as I mentioned before, I looked up the author C.L. Taylor. That is because each of the 3 hosts, Harriet Rosie and the 2 other hosts, each picked their favorite thriller. And you have to read one of those 3. So this is the only spot on this bingo card, if you will, that you're kind of stuck within a restrictive box where you need to read one of these 3. Outside of that, you can, as long as it's a thriller, you can read whatever. So I typed in all 3 of them into Goodreads, but the one that jumped out at me the most is the one that I've heard about the most, and that was Harriet's, and it is The Good Daughter by Karen Slaughter. I have heard a ton of people on BookTube and Bookstagram talk about this book. I've heard some people say they didn't like it, other people say they really, really loved it, so I'm super excited about it, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun, at least really interesting, and yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. The next one is your most anticipated thriller. This one was kind of difficult for me because, again, I'm not a thriller reader, so I don't necessarily anticipate thrillers. Maybe I will after reading this, and I'll find some new favorite authors and suddenly start following them, and finding out when their new books are coming out. But right now, I don't necessarily have a book I'm anticipating. So I remember that in Harriet's video, she did mention that you could also read a mystery if you wanted. It didn't necessarily have to be a thriller. It could be a mystery. As long as, I'm assuming as long as it's not a cozy mystery, like you want something that's a little grittier and a little darker, at least this is my opinion. So you want more of a straight up mystery as opposed to a cozy. I think the book that I picked straddles that line just a little bit. It's not quite a cozy, but it's not necessarily maybe a gritty thriller. And I was kind of thinking, like, historically speaking, are there thrillers that were out or mysteries that were out years ago that everybody talked about that I never got around to reading? And this one goes back a few years. Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. Yay! I'm very much looking forward to this one. I read And Then There Were None twice. I read it about 10 years ago. No, I read it in school. I read And Then There Were None in high school. And then I read it again about 2 years ago. Loved that book. And I'm so looking forward to this one. I've heard so many people talk about it. I have not seen the movie. I'm not a movie watcher. If you guys watch my channel, you know I've mentioned that before. So I have no interest in seeing the movie. But I'm super stoked about reading the book, and I cannot wait. I'm on hold for this one at the library, along with the one by Karen Slaughter. They're both on audio, so I am fingers crossed. They both said within a few days, so I'm really hoping that I get them this week sometime so I can go ahead and read them before the end of the month. The next one is the newest thriller on your TBR. This is the newest thriller on my TBR because I just added it today when I was putting together my TBR. I looked to see what had come out for new releases, and anything that jumped out at me and sounded interesting. And this one jumped out at me, because this author, I've heard her mentioned before, from Karen over at Rather Be Reading. She has talked about the author, and I didn't realize that she wrote thrillers. And this one sounded really interesting, so I decided to pick it up, and it's called Never Have I Ever by Jocelyn Jackson. So I'm really looking forward to reading this one. It sounds super interesting. The cover looks intriguing. And yeah, like I said, a good recommendation from Karen, that she always says that she enjoys this author's work. So I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm pretty sure this is the author she always keeps mentioning. But I know Karen is a big thriller reader as well. So she has potentially mentioned this author before. The next category is a new to you author. So I just kind of continued looking over my TBR, like my want to read list on Goodreads, and I came across this book that's a thriller. I have not read it before. This one is actually available as part of the Audible Escape package as well, and this is Damaged by Pamela Cowell. The cover looks super intriguing, and I'm like, yeah, this one sounds interesting, so I thought this one would be, you know, fun to read. The next one, this one was fun. Shortest thriller on your TBR, The Grown Up by Gillian Flynn. It's 64 pages long. It's a short story. I did buy this one because I do like Gillian Flynn. I have read Gone Girl and I have read Sharp Objects like just about everybody else. And I really enjoyed both of them. Now, I read Gone Girl back before everybody knew the twist. Because the thing was, once everybody started reading it, it slipped out to people what it actually, like what it was. And that story had me from the beginning. You know, a lot of people had problems with it. I thought that book was brilliant. Absolutely brilliantly written, in my opinion. Like, were the characters flawed? Was it the best writing? Not necessarily. The execution of that book was brilliant, and I loved it. So I am a big fan of Gillian Flynn. And when this one came up a couple years ago, I think it was right around Halloween a couple years ago, this came up as a Kindle Daily Deal for like 99 cents, so I snatched it up, and I still haven't gotten to it yet, so I'm super excited. Again, it's 64 pages long. I have heard some people say they really didn't like this one. Other people have said they really enjoyed this one, so we shall see where I fall, but I'm very much looking forward to it. And the very last one is The Thriller with the Creepiest Cover. So this one is a new release. It's so new, it hasn't been published yet. I was sent this for review from the publisher via NetGalley, and this book comes out on October 1st, and I was going to get to it in September, and then when this Thrillerathon came up, I'm like, this is the perfect opportunity for me to read it. And it is called One Night Gone by Tara Lakowski, Tara Lakowski. Sorry, I need my glasses to read. And this cover, just all the Halloween feels, right? The creepy house, the kind of weird ambiance. It just looks creepy, and I love it. So I'm super looking forward to reading this one too. So anyway, guys, that is all that I have for this video. I do hope that you enjoyed it, excuse me. I will leave a list of the books I mentioned below in the description box, so in case you want to find out more about any of the books that I mentioned. And as I said, over the next few weeks, as I do my weekly wrap-ups and I do my my Friday reads and stuff like that, I will be talking more about these books as I read through them. I debated on doing a vlog for Thriller-a-thon, but I thought, no, I don't want to do too much because I have a lot of books here to get through, and it's, you know, month end and stuff like that. It can get busy. So I'm going to hold off on that this time, maybe next round. But yeah, I'm super looking forward to it. Let me know if you're participating and what books you're going to be reading, or if you've read any of these, please do let me know what you thought about them, because I would love to know that too. And until my next video, everybody, take care and happy reading. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye, guys.